Hello students, welcome to Biology Corner. After a long time, now I am taking your class. Hope you all students like it and you are able to understand it. So today we'll discuss the rest part of the human digestive system. We have already covered the 4 processes involved in the human digestive system. That is your ingestion process. We have already covered what? We have already covered the ingestion process. Okay. Then we have covered the digestion process. Okay. Then we have covered the absorption process. Okay, then we have covered the assimilation process. Now today we'll discuss about what? We will discuss the last process, that is the egestion process. Okay, this is the last part of the human digestive system. We'll discuss about the human digestive system. Okay, in our previous class we have already discussed the 4 processes. Okay, and also we have already discussed the different organs of the human digestive system, that is the mouth or the buccal cavity, then the food pipe or the esophagus, then the stomach and the small intestine. We have covered up to this. Okay, so the ingestion process means the intake of the food. Okay, and the digestion process means the complex and the larger food particle converted or the broken down into the smaller, simpler and the soluble food particle. Okay, then the absorption process we have already discussed. The process in which the digested food passes into the blood. Okay, the blood cell. And the assimilation process means the digested food enters or the reach into the each and every cell, so that it provides energy to help in the growth and repair of the body. Okay, and now the last process is the egestion process. Okay, the egestion process means it is the last process of the human digestive system, in which the removal of the undigested food from the body is known as the egestion process. Okay, and we have already discussed in the human digestive system, the largest part of the human digestive system is the small intestine. It is about 6.5 meter long, because it is the largest part of the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal means from mouth to anus. This is the alimentary canal. So it is 6.5 meter long as it is coiling in nature. Okay, so the function of the small intestine is it helps in the absorption of the food, because the intestinal wall has small or the tiny finger like projection. Okay, we call them as what? We call them as villi. The function of the villi is absorption of the what? Absorption of the food. Okay, it helps in the absorption of the food. But all the food cannot absorb, because the food cannot digested wholly. A part of food remain undigested. Okay, so the undigested food cannot be absorbed, okay, by the small intestine. The undigested food cannot be absorbed by the small intestine, as due to the presence of villi, the small intestine absorb the food. Okay, so the undigested food cannot absorbed by the small intestine. Hence, the undigested food now enters into the wider tube. It enters into the wider tube. Okay, we call them as what? The large intestine. Okay, it is about approx 1.5 meter long. Okay, so the undigested food cannot absorb by the small intestine. Now it enters into the wider tube, is known as the large intestine. It is approx 1.5 meter long. Its name is large intestine because it is wider tube. Okay, and in the large intestine, from the undigested food, the water is absorbed by the villi. Okay, so the water is absorbed, the liquid substances is absorbed. Now the undigested food become solid. Okay, so now the solid undigested food removed from the body by the process of egestion. Okay, so the water is absorbed from the large intestine. In exam, the one mark question will come where the water absorption takes place, or the absorption of the water takes place by large intestine, or the function of the large intestine is it helps in the absorption of water, whereas the small intestine helps in the absorption of the food. Okay, so in the large intestine, the water is absorbed from the large intestine. The water is absorbed okay, with the help of villi. Now the undigested food become what? The undigested food becomes solid, okay. The undigested food become what? The undigested food becomes solid, okay. We call them as what? It is called them as stool, okay. So the undigested food becomes solid, we call them as stool, okay. Now the undigested food, the solid undigested food stored in the last part of the large intestine, we call them as rectum, okay. So the last part of the large intestine is rectum, and the undigested, the solid undigested food stored in the rectum, okay. And lastly, the solid undigested food removed from the body with the help of anus by the process of what? By the process of egestion, okay. So we have covered the egestion process, the last process involved in the human digestive system. So we have covered the human digestive system. I hope you all like it, and if you have any doubt regarding this topic or this content, then ask me in the comment box. And thank you. Have a good day. Stay safe and stay healthy.